Like, it doesn't matter how hard you try, there's just something that's going to be lost. Like, the universe is just tax on people for not staying in the same place for long enough. It's insane.
You think of Earth as a singular planet. In fact, it is anything but. For this is a story not of a universe, but a multiverse. Where universes and planets, such as Earth, were replicated and mirrored across a vibrating, infinite plane. Some barely different from the next. Others drastically so.
This is DC On Screen. Every week, Dave and Jason talk about the multiverse of DC properties on film and television. But be warned, if it's been officially released, you can expect they'll spoil it.
Welcome into DC On Screen, episode 470. I'm your host, David C. Robertson, and this is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
All right, so I guess it's been about a month.
It rounds up, even with February being short.
Yeah, it's been close to a month since we've done a news episode. So we're going to hit the highlights, or try to hit the highlights. If you guys have sent us, a lot of people have sent us some, congratulations on my wedding, different pieces of fan feedback or listener feedback, however you want to put it. Some about Gotham, some about different shows. I have not caught up on any of my shows. I have not caught up at all, so we're not covering any of that. Thank you for all the well wishes. Effie Oppelder of Stealing the Remote sent us these really cool this Nightwing and Batgirl statue as a wedding gift to me and my wife. Awesome.
They were badass.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. All right, so anyway, we're going to jump into this. Some of this might be not as relevant, but, I tried to cut out the stuff that wasn't relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Also, this episode's going to sound weird because the Dave Cave is still in beta mode. So, I have a sock on my microphone, full disclosure. I can't find my pop filters.
The proper equipment is still buried between homes. All right, so let's see. We've got sock filter, Dave Cave, we'll call 0.5. We were sick for 2 weeks.
I'm still sick.
We're still at the back end of it personally. Something about a marriage. And we haven't quite been able to catch up enough to completely catch up on FanPia. Is that all the disclosures? I think that's all the disclaimers.
Those are the qualifiers for this episode.
All right, so you'll be met at this point with a mixture of highlights and kind of dim lights that
my lights
were
off.
Once high, but now have been 3 or 4 weeks ago. So,
all right, well, pushing forward.
Yeah.
All right, so the Wrap actually reported. It's been a minute.
Yeah, pushing the
I
best
always
off.
did this.
So we never
apparently
got things
right. No. So this insider told the Wrap that following the disappointing box office of Justice League, that the secondary characters, so like Nightwing, Deathstroke, Lobo, Batgirl, etc., are not really priorities for the studio, and that they're going to be pushing more into developing the core members of the Justice League, which some would argue they should have been doing the entire time before Justice League. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all that.
Yeah, it's a whole
anymore.
That's a whole different hypothetical waste of time.
But so I'm not sure that's true, because we've gotten other reports that I'll talk about later about other solo outings that are apparently still going. Also, though, in that report, they're saying that if the AT&T merger doesn't go through with Warner Brothers, if the Department of Justice stops that, then potentially Time Warner could be broken up into different parts and sold separately as Warner Brothers, HBO, and Turner. And some are saying that oh no, Disney's going to buy DC Comics.
I don't know where people were getting that.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know. I'm not among the people who think oh, Marvel has sucked since DC bought it. Star Wars has sucked since since Disney bought it.
Yeah.
I don't think Disney has done anything egregious with any of it, so I wouldn't care if they bought DC Comics, even if that was a real possibility, which I don't believe it is.
There's so much speculation that I don't even know where to start unpacking it. Like, I don't even know where to begin.
Honestly, like, I'm kind of just, I'm in the camp that feels like if Disney were to buy DC Comics, if they had DC films in their roster, I would just be excited for the possibility of Marvel versus DC and a possible amalgam universe line of films.
There's nothing wrong with that dream. That's fine.
I mean,
but Disney even for Disney, and I know even for Disney, they just spent so much money.
Yeah, they did.
That would be a lot more money. And there's no, on top of that, there's no telling how they're going to break up the divisions.
No.
They could break down into nice, neat little things like Wonder Woman Entertainment. And, it could be like, here's 3 or 4 blocks, and it's all there. Or it could, I don't know, they could go to the auction house with it. Who knows?
Well, even if it was broken up into parts as Warner Brothers,
that's even to speculate that they're going to sell.
Yeah, but if the merger doesn't go through and they were broken up as Warner Brothers, period, HBO, period, Turner, period, DC Comics, DC Films is still under Warner Brothers, so it would likely stay at Warner Brothers. Like,
yeah, that would be the hypothetical on that. Now, it's still under their purview, and I think, I don't know, I've never seen the contract, but it sounds like they own it outright, so they could make it part of another one if they wanted to, I suppose. But
I mean, if someone bought Warner Brothers, someone like Disney, and I'm saying Disney, it would probably wind up being Comcast or some weird crap.
Yeah,
but you know,
it's gonna be like Yahoo back from the grave.
Yeah.
Adds a chunk to Yahoo screen or whatever that was called for a minute there.
Yeah, that's gone away now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, you know, I'm not worried about this. I don't think anything will happen with it. I don't necessarily foresee the AT&T Warner Brothers merger falling through. Even if it does, I don't think, you know, anyone's gonna. I don't know. I don't think Disney's going to grab Warner Brothers.
No, that's a big old stretch.
Yep. All right, so DC Films has a new vice president of production named Chantel Nong, and this comes to us via the Hollywood Reporter, and she is going to oversee the development and production management of the company's slate, and will be reporting directly to DC Films' Walter Hamada, and she's been working with Warner Brothers since 2011. And she's got a few films in her roster: Godzilla, The Intern, Crazy Rich Asians, and 300 Rise of an Empire. So, you know, whatever. That sounds good. Sounds like there's some stuff there. I didn't like Godzilla. I've never seen The Intern or Crazy Rich Asians. I never even saw 300 Rise of an Empire. So I don't know how to feel about it.
Like, negative on all that. Also, it's hard to tell from her position what she oversaw, you know?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's happened. I guess we'll have another person to point the finger at if something goes wrong.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing we're sure about is like, yep, that's another person that we can blame later if we don't like it.
Yeah. Twitter has a new doll to kick around.
That's about it. Yeah.
Right there with old Emmerich and Sujihara.
Mm.
It's more and more like, you know, I was like on our honeymoon. I didn't have Wi-Fi, and that may have been a bit of a mixed blessing, because as soon as I got back, it was just like I got back on Twitter, and it was just like Twitter had made several new voodoo dolls. They were pricking them and burning them.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Oh, what fresh hell!
That makes sense. It's like if you were a scientist and you left your lab like alone for a week and came back, and there was an entirely new like rapacious virus that you'd not anticipated when you left.
And it's like I hadn't been caught up all week, so I just like it's like I just returned to campus and there's just a bunch of things burning in effigy. And I'm like, oh,
what are we protesting? Hold on, I missed something.
Apparently there was a Green Lantern thing that we're not going to talk about because it's not real.
Yeah.
All right. So over to some Justice League fun, I guess, if they were calling it that anymore. I don't know. There was that deleted scene that they released with Superman walking through the fortress, and he sees the black suit, and then he turns away from the black suit over to, the colorful suit. Smalls over on Twitter, or Nick Albright on Vero, posited the idea that the scene was meant to call back to a line in Man of Steel. All these changes you're going through, one day you're going to think of them as a blessing, and when that day comes, you're going to have to make a choice of whether to stand proud in front of the human race or not. And as Smalls puts it, Clark deliberately chooses to return to his classic red and blue suit instead of the dark black suit. And Zack Snyder responded to him on Vero and says, I think, of course, it's that, what you said, and that now, in one sense, he has been born twice, once on Krypton, once on Earth, and it is this reality that he now is starkly aware of as he moves through the ship. That's pretty dope.
It's pretty dope, yeah. I don't even know what to add to that.
As it goes, more and more, I'm hoping there is a Snyder cut.
Never had anything against it being around.
That gets released.
Yeah. I'd totally watch it if it comes out. I'm just still dubious about it. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So, Justice League, they had the problem with the mustache. Everybody knows about the mustache.
Sure.
Zack Snyder was on Vero, and he shared a picture of himself, and he has this full, big, bushy beard. And he says, guess I gotta shave this thing. And a fan responded, or you could just remove it via CGI. Ha 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 ha. Mm-hmm. And he responds, we all know that doesn't work. Mm-hmm. I just really enjoyed that.
Yep. I'd have been disappointed if he hadn't teed that. He was just teed up. You gotta hit that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Have you seen that, like, he's been releasing all these pictures of shots from Justice League that weren't in the movie, like Jason Momoa in the flatbed of an old pickup, and Kirstie Clemons as Iris West against the fence, and Ezra Miller was wearing glasses and had a Black Freighter t-shirt, and there's a shot of Lois and Martha at the Kent farm drinking coffee or tea or something, some hot beverage, and says some people are talking about it might be an alternate version of where Martha meets Lois at the planet, otherwise known as the thirsty scene. Mm-hmm. There's also a new shot of Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Cyborg and Flash with Clark's casket at like the gravesite. Mm-hmm. And a few days ago, he actually
that's
posted
actually the only one I've seen.
Oh, really?
I have heard rumblings of the other ones. That's the only one I've physically seen. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to actually help me, but my copy of Justice League only arrived today.
Yeah. So I haven't bought it yet.
I came home and
I feel bad.
Did this, so now I don't have time to watch that.
Yeah.
So
I feel bad because I didn't pre-order it because I've been busy, and I just didn't think about it, and then I realized that it came out. Justice League came out on Blu-ray like today or yesterday or something. Well, I don't have it.
Good news is there'll be plenty of copies available because people are swearing they're not going to buy it by the droves. So you'll be fine. Don't worry about scarcity.
No, I'm not. I'm not worried about that.
If anything, wait a couple weeks. Let's see what the price is.
Yep. But yeah, he also, Snyder also posted like a picture of his thumb with a cut on it, and people are trying to say like in the midst of all these other pictures that he's trying to hint at the Snyder cut. Yeah, I don't know.
I have to admit, that is a clever reference if that's what he did.
Uh-huh.
And it makes way more sense than like, look, Vimo, I have an ouchie. Vero, sorry. I like the idea of a grown man posting a small cut. There's got to be something there.
It wasn't small, man. It was big.
Was it a decent cut?
It was a decent cut, yeah.
All right.
I think it was an old picture though, I think. I'm not sure.
See, if it's an old picture, that goes back to the tease.
Mm-hmm.
Better evidence for it.
Did you happen by any chance to see this the retro trailer, like the Super Friends trailer for Justice League for the Blu-ray release they put out, officially put out?
No.
Well, I can't find it anywhere. I was going to send you a copy of it, or a link to it or whatever, but I couldn't find it because they have taken it down. And I saw it got a huge amount of backlash, which I was confused by because I watched it and I was delighted. They had the old schools like Aquaman,
you
Superman.
Sent me something. You sent me something a few days ago that by the time you sent it to me at 5:40 in the morning, and by 6:10 in the morning when I was like, awake and was wondering what that was, it was already like, attachment unavailable.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's a bummer, because, I mean, a lot of the fans have, like, really just, like, hated on it and attacked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun and funny. It was humorous. I don't know. But then, I guess, I'm one of these fans that can, enjoy several different versions of a thing.
Which is, a skill set.
You wouldn't know it to hear our Dark Knight Rises review, but
I understand.
I am that guy.
Yeah. Like, it's becoming harder and harder to defend that you're that guy. Not you in particular, like any of us. It's gotten so divisive in certain ways.
Mm-hmm.
Although I swear I'm starting to see a tilt back a little bit.
A tilt back towards what?
A little less of the, petitions begetting petitions, and a little more of the like, okay, if you hate it, that's fine. Just stay in your camp, and I'll be fine. Like, I think there's maybe like a detente. Like the foxholes have been dug, and people are starting to run out of ammunition. It's kind of cold, and everyone's hungry, and we just want to chill and just sleep tonight.
You know what? I went on my honeymoon, and I came back. I was excised from the world, and I came back, and all I know is Honest Trailers is now making fun of Justice League by talking about how they didn't utilize the intricate plotting of Batman v Superman, and I'm like, really?
That's precisely the thing everyone slammed it for.
Like, yeah, but
specifically Honest Trailers.
Didn't
they bring up like a 51-point diagram about, and then was that them?
I mean, what wasn't Screen Junkies and all these other sites, people who are making fun of Batman v Superman for not having a plot?
There was a lot of that. But then there was there was another whole subcurrent of, but Lex's plan was so ornate and complex that it's just it's impossible, and then here's the 100-point plan he actually put in place, and here's 3,000 reasons that 100 points wouldn't have worked and stuff. So you had that, and then the plot, and then I don't know. It was a weird thing to sit back and listen to. It was like someone saying there was no plot for this movie, except Lex had this thing completely overplotted. Okay.
Yeah, I'm whatever. Yeah. I don't remember if it was actually Screen Junkies. I know I came back and I was like, wait, BVS is the thing that you liked now? I don't understand.
I'm sorry. If this was a class, who's the scale student? Where's the bar, man?
Yeah.
What am I to achieve? I don't know. Suppose we've gotten lost in it all. And now with our time off, we've gotten existential about the whole thing.
So, Batgirl's gotten pretty weird, right?
True dat.
A lot of stuff's happened.
Happened and not, I guess.
I guess we're going to look at the timeline here. I don't. All right, so, look, February 20th, Hollywood Reporter reports that Warner Brothers is hiring Chantel Nong, as I already mentioned. And February 22nd, Hollywood Reporter informs us that Joss Whedon has dropped out of the Batgirl project. Whedon says, Batgirl is such an exciting project and Warner Brothers DC, such collaborative and supportive partners that it took me months to realize I really didn't have a story. I'm grateful to Jeff Johns and Warner's Picture Group president, Toby Emmerich, and everyone who was so welcoming when I arrived and so understanding when is there a sexier word for failed? I don't believe that line. I don't believe that he didn't have a story. I think they pushed him away. Honestly, after the allegations of all the infidelity with his wife, and Justice League was so roundly pummeled, I think they asked him to step away because he's hurting the brand.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened.
I gotta give him credit for a good line. I like the, is there a better word for, is there a sexier word for failed? I like the line.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny. It's Whedon.
But it's not even the circumstantial stuff. It's just like, intrinsically, Whedon, I don't believe he didn't have a story. If anything, I'm willing to believe that he maybe had a story and kind of crawled up his own butt with it and couldn't find his way out.
Now, February 23rd, Variety tells us that Whedon, despite his assertion that he was lost at sea, had a plan to adapt the comics introduction of Batgirl, Detectives 359, the $1 million debut of Batgirl. That story was written originally by Gardner Fox and Carmine Infantino, and Barbara dresses as what would have to be called a Batgirl, interrupts Killer Moth, and kidnapping Bruce Wayne, meets Batman, foils Batman's plans only to save him and Robin later, and then departs, leaving the dynamic duo to wonder when they would see her again. Now, on the same day, though, bad feminist author Roxane Gay tweeted, at Warner Brothers, "Hey, DC Comics, I can write your Batgirl movie, no problem." And Michelle Wells, a VP for the WB Entertainment, asked her to send her an email if she was serious. Roxanne said she was and promised that they would be in touch. And February 27th, the Wrap reports that Warner Brothers has, quote, "no imminent plans to replace Whedon. This is based on, quote, an individual with knowledge of the project." And to be precise, they reported, quote, "there are no imminent plans to attach a new filmmaker to the Batman spinoff after Whedon exited last week." It
was a whirlwind, right?
Yeah, man. And, there have been subsequent reports that...
it's gone back and forth. Like, oh, the side characters, that's important to us right now. Oh, the side characters, we're not as worried. And then, like, what was it, 6-8 weeks ago, we were talking about revealing slides, and everyone had a name, and then some of those slides apparently aren't mentioned now, and it's just... Mm-hmm. It's been back and forth.
And, there are reports that Warner Brothers is looking for a woman to helm the movie, and... I don't know. I don't know what's right and what's wrong. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Not either.
Or if it even is.
I don't either. I gotta say, like, if you're Warner Brothers, you just made the most successful, woman-helmed film ever. Mm-hmm. Maybe give that another go. Worked out once.
Yeah, I do. I'm not opposed to it, but I also worry, and this is with anything, I worry that... Warner Brothers is just going to be reactionary and be like, oh, female director. They'll all be female directors. As long as it's, we'll only do female superheroes and they'll all be helmed by females. Because that's what Warner Brothers does until it fails. And then they go, oh, that's not what the people want anymore.
Yeah.
Let's just copy it. You know what I mean?
They have as a unit, they have generalization problems. They overgeneralize, then they isolate at weird rates. Like, I don't trust them, and when I say them, I mean the WWE executive team in general. I don't trust them to, use nuance in their thinking patterns. So kind of, I think the best outcome is for them to look at the Patty Jenkins cells and go, well, it worked, and then put it in the hands of somebody who's maybe an upcoming female director and be like, we trust you, and let that person make their film. Because at that point, they'll be putting it in the hands of someone that they've qualified as nope, this worked before and we're going to let it work again. And then maybe that person can make a cogent film and not let them fuck with it.
Maybe.
I think that's that's how it plays out is the best bet. Because I feel like if they wish-wash and go back and forth and, oh, we're going to talk to the bad feminist writer and then nothing ever came of that and blah, blah, blah. And there's a whole series of hot take articles I'm sure that can be used for that. Instead of all the back and forth and them thinking too hard about it, I would like it if they just didn't think so hard and gave it to someone kind of capable and said, do your thing. And then got the fuck out of the way. Yeah. It's the one thing I think all of us can agree on. They need to get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, as much as I think, as strange as it is for me, a fan who has a podcast, who gives opinions about all this stuff, as strange as it is for me to say, I think the fans need to get the hell out of the way too.
Oh yeah, we're shooting ourselves in the foot hard.
Case in point, the internet pretty much just melted down because there was a rumor, and it turned out to be true. By the way, Patty Jenkins has announced it. Kristen Wiig is going to be Cheetah in Wonder Woman 2. I like Kristen Wiig. I think she's hilarious. I've seen her in dramatic performances, and she was wonderful.
I mean, the girl can act. And don't get me wrong, there's a difference in a lot of ways, I guess, between a dramatic performance and, kind of a supervillain performance. I get that. But first of all, should there be? Second, it sure looks like a talented actor that might give us a fresh take. I
understand. Yeah, I understand the fear that it's going to be another mustache twirler, because that was the big red flag with Wonder Woman. If there was anything to complain about with that movie, it was that the villains were terribly off tone. With the rest of the film, they were not really very well rounded. They were, just kind of, and that was one of the big complaints about BVS is that Lex was a little too funny. I don't know why, but everyone's so worried about seriousness.
They were super worked up about that. But here's my rebuttal is every version of Cheetah I've ever seen bores the ever-living hell out of me. Because she's always just this, like, licking the blood off her claws.
Yeah.
She's rote. The character herself is rote. Like, I was bored when they decided they were going to use Cheetah. Now they're telling me we're going to use Cheetah and we have Kristen Wiig in mind. Oh, dear sir, you have my interest.
Right. I don't care about Cheetah very much myself. They're saying that it's probably going to be the Barbara Ann Minerva version. I can't imagine they're going to like stick with the same. I would hope they wouldn't stick with the same origin, because she was an anthropologist, and she basically becomes possessed with a cheetah god after like stumbling upon a lost city and getting in the middle of an ancient ritual. That just sounds so much like Enchantress to me. I don't even want to see it.
Yeah, that's the major criticism there. Is like, we've done that one.
Of course, that didn't
we've
stop,
done that one, and it was in a movie where we. Yeah, I know, but like we've done that particular origin story, and then it came out in a movie that was in a lot of ways well liked, except guess what? The villains.
Yeah,
it's a problem with this genre of movies. It just is. Like you don't run across great villains a lot. They don't have time to flesh them out. They don't bother sometimes. And sometimes the motivations are just. What the hell are we doing with ourselves kind of motivations. It's a problem with the industry and how we make these movies. But, again, you tell me we have a villain I'm not interested in, and then you tell me we have a casting that makes no damn sense. Suddenly my interest is piqued. I'm not annoyed. I'm happy.
Yeah. So that hashtag show is saying that Wonder Woman 2, quote, will follow Diana Prince into the 1980s, where she will somehow reunite with Steve Trevor to take on the now dissolved Soviet Union. Apparently Cheetah will be in the mix. It's also been, reported that they had offered Cheetah to Emma Stone, and she turned it down. I've seen Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. I don't need to see her in another comic book movie. I'm good. I like her. I'd take it, but
I do kind of believe the rumor, because I feel like they are the same. I'm not trying to pigeonhole, but there's a wide category of actress that they are both usable for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not sure what they have on their casting call, but I feel like those two probably hit several of the marks.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, I'm not interested in the 1980s Soviet Union crap. I just don't care about it.
Yeah, that sounds a little boring.
It all sounds boring.
But
I don't.
At this point, I'm at a point in my life where like I'm bored by World War anything movies, and I still enjoyed Wonder Woman. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Now, Charles Roven talked to comicbook.com and said that Wonder Woman 2 is apparently about to shoot in the summer. He says, we're in what I would call development of the screenplay. We finally, I think, have a good story to tell. Not kind of. We do believe we have a good story to tell. And then we're also just moving out of what normally we would call soft prep into hard prep. Ugh. We're hoping to start shooting the movie the movie sometime this summer, and hope to have it out by the end of 2019. That sounds fine.
Yeah, sounds great.
I'm good. That's it's cool that it's moving along, and I hope that it I don't care about World War II or World War I movies necessarily like you. I liked Wonder Woman enough.
I really loved it. I mean, I wasn't particularly interested in any of the stuff. Like the elevator pitch for that would have bored me, but the movie I liked. So
yeah,
I don't trust my instincts on this one, nor should I. Come on, man. We're just talking about setting. Like make your movie, tell your story. If it's good, I'll like it.
Yeah, I mean, there certainly is something that could be fun or exciting to me about having it set in the 80s, because I like the 80s.
There are a lot of good jokes to be had for it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I do hope that Steve Trevor doesn't come back, though.
I really do. His death was really meaningful.
Yeah, it was. It shouldn't be messed with. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, it was a good death. Just let him be.
Take it with a grain of salt. Remember what good things were said about Batman v Superman. But a number of people are reporting that very good things are being said about Aquaman. That, oh man, this is going to be great. It's a lot of quote unquote insiders, a lot of sources over at Warner Brothers talking up Aquaman. Jeff Snyder over at Meet the Movie Press talked about it. Said reportedly the action scenes put Wonder Woman and Justice League to shame. Of course, they've got to tear down Wonder Woman and Justice League. to talk about Aquaman. It's so exhausting.
It is. It's just, I don't even care.
Humberto Gonzalez has said, I heard it was great, man. Someone else told me it was a palate cleanser for them, for DC, what's happened with the Zack Snyder films. So high hopes for that one in Shazam. Jeff Snyder says, I heard that it plays like an Indiana Jones movie and that the action puts Wonder Woman and Justice League to shame. And that would make sense. James Wan is an experienced action director. I would expect the action to be to really be awesome. And the fact that I imagine a lot of it is going to be underwater too is a different element that we've seen in a lot of these movies. Over on Collider Movie Talk, John Roca talked about Aquaman. And he says he's hearing the same optimistic things from comic book writer Mark Andreyko. He says, I was talking to Mark Andreyko this time last week, and he said, I'm hearing rumblings that it's a fantastic film. So I don't know. A lot of people are saying it, man. There's a little bit of hope for it.
No.
As far as I'm concerned.
No.
No?
It's not even that there's no hope. I have the exact amount of hope or disdain as I did before. Could not, if I searched the globe and the spaces surrounding it, could not find a fuck for any of that.
All right.
It was just we've done that dance.
Yeah, we have. So the Aquaman Shrine is reporting that there's apparently going to be a big change with Mera. In the comics, she was engaged to the King of Zabel, Nereus, and they're saying that in the movie she will be Nereus's daughter. I can't imagine anyone giving a crap.
I don't even register that as a big deal, but
I don't either.
I'm not qualified to do so. I don't have enough Aquaman knowledge to really register that. That subtlety doesn't really hit my radar.
Yeah, I can make a joke about, them folks down in Atlantis.
Yeah.
How they engaged to their daddy.
Yeah, but that's really all I'd have. I don't know. That one's beyond my levels of subtlety here.
Yeah. All right, over to Shazam. You want to talk about the leaked pictures?
Sure.
Have you seen any of them? The costume, it looks amazing to me.
It looks fine.
Everybody's upset.
I feel like this is an addendum to the internet blowing up and the fans shooting our own selves in the foot.
Yeah, absolutely. They're like, oh, it looks like cosplay. They all do.
They all do in the broad daylight. Did you see the pictures for the Avengers or Age of Ultron or anything? Any movie.
In the Avengers, they didn't even change it. It just looked like cosplay in the movie. I was fine with that. Like, who the hell cares? A lot of cosplay looks really good.
This is what things look like in broad daylight. Like, the pictures for The Dark Knight Rises were so bad that Conan made fun of them.
Yeah, but they looked bad in the movie. That's not really...
It's
not an argument.
It's a different topic. Whether that scene looked bad... Actually, that scene didn't look as bad as the actual set photos looked. Because they shot it differently, and it didn't look like Christian Bale was a foot and a half shorter than his... the person he was battling. But it's a set photo. Like,
yeah,
there's full natural daylight on it. No one's in control of that. No one's in control of the angle. No one's done any of the after effects that you're going to have. None of it.
No.
None of it.
It cracks me up. It's like every time fandom has to relearn the lesson. It's like they put out the picture. Everyone, no, it looks bad. No, it doesn't even look bad. It looks great. It looks like the big red cheese, man.
It does.
Did you see the freaking clasps that were holding onto his cape? They had tiny little tigers in them.
Oh, that's good. I didn't notice that.
I think they're little tiny talkie tongs.
Tonies. Oh. I would love to think so. I'd love to think that he was going to make an appearance, but I don't know.
Oh, man.
That would make me very happy. But
I mean, I really like the New 52 version where like he just makes a tiger at the zoo into a humanoid, like gives him Shazam powers. But
that is nice.
Well, he just granted him through him powers.
That's cool. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, we don't need like the weird Golden Age versions or anything. But I like Talkie Tawny.
Yeah, it's a fun character. But there's a bigger point to me where like we can disagree, I guess, about the random set photos from what If I'm being honest, as a Samsung user, look like Samsung photos. They're not even up to iPhone quality photos. Perfectly willing to admit that I have an inferior product for picture taking. Just we're nitpicking photos of Shazam. A little perspective, people.
And did you see what Bosslogic did? Bosslogic took that one picture, the close up picture, and then he put like a little mustache on him.
No.
and Zachary Levi posted it and said, told Henry Cavill, "I feel you, boo."
That's good.
and hashtag Shazagnum PI. I almost couldn't say it.
You should. You should be able to.
And Cavill responded, "The wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, the mustache of legend."
All right, well played, boys. Again, we have a Shazam movie. Just calm down and let it play out.
Yeah, I like how suddenly everyone's like angry.
They're all these 5 points of a Shazam movie.
Yeah, everyone's like angry and like, "Oh, I'm a huge Shazam fan. I've been a Shazam fan." Shut up, you have.
No, you weren't. There are no such things. I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong saying that.
Yeah,
but come on.
I'm a Shazam fan, but come on, guys.
Come on. We get a Shazam movie. Let's just take a second. Just breathe. Breathe twice. Look at the picture again. Wait 6 months for the picture to get some effects. We'll talk again at that point. That's my prescription.
Now, over to Flashpoint. That hashtag show. They came out and they said some stuff about what they believed were possible story elements for Flashpoint. And that it would involve Captain Cold, Heatwave, and Caitlin Snow. That would involve Barry investigating the death of Johnny Quick, Jonathan Chambers, and Ia Bartholomew would be involved. But the article does say that the information predates the news that the Spider-Man Homecoming writers John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein were directing. Which, by the way, Daly went on Twitter and said is happening and put a little gif of a Flash running up a mountain. So who knows if that story, if the plot thing is going to happen.
And I read that article and it's rambling, for lack of a better word. Mm-hmm. Like it's as though someone threw in every term that might get searched, even as though someone might want someone to click on it.
All right, so over to Nightwing. There are a bunch of rumors swirling about that Nightwing director Chris McKay was going to be popping off to do Dungeons and Dragons. He says on Twitter. He says, "I'm pretty sure WB are going to have to fire me if they want me to leave Nightwing." Now, another exciting piece of news. Someone on Twitter, Ian Griffin, says to Chris McKay, "Whatever costume they keep or go with, can we all agree that white eyes or lenses needs to be a staple going forward with a live-action Bat family? Look at that left mask on Chris McKay's profile picture, which is Nightwing. I see your profile picture. Please make it happen." Chris McKay says, "Agreed. Absolutely. I have wanted white eyes on these characters in the movies for my entire life. Deadpool was the first one to fully realize that. Yeah, I know Nolan had the little lens whites, and so did Snyder and BVS, but they ain't do that shit right. Man, it's supposed to be like Deadpool."
I was hoping you'd bring up Deadpool.
It was plenty expressive.
It really was. Well, I don't know if it'd work as much on a more subtle character, but on Deadpool, who's gesticulating wildly the entire time anyway, it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And well, I mean, even if we just have no pupil in the eye with Batman, and he just squints, you're like, "Oh shit!"
Right? Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I'm down with this idea. Super down with this idea. Got your back,
right, so that asshole John Campia or whatever his name is said he came out and said, "Oh, there's going to be some big DC film news that the fans won't like in the next month or year or whatever." He's full of shit. Everybody freaked out and thought that because Matt Reeves has a new Netflix deal, that means that he's not going to be doing the Batman movies. Now, insiders close to Warner Brothers, and they talked to the Wrap, and they said, it's not true. Matt Reeves is doing it. He's not true. He's writing away. Mm-hmm. Matt Reeves even responded on Twitter and said, it ain't so. He's doing it. He had a little smiley face and a bat and a thumbs up. Yes, that was marred by Josh Gad commenting with a gif of penguins.
Nice.
What the hell are you getting at, man? Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah. Wait your turn.
All right, so over to the non-DCEU, apparently, the Joker film. The Wrap is reporting that the Joker film, directed by Todd Phillips, happening in the 80s, will depict Joker as a failed 1980s comedian who turns to crime after bombing time and time again. And this doesn't feel true to me, and I hope it's not, but especially since they're like, oh, this is why Martin Scorsese's involved, because he's doing he's produced the project, and he has tackled this subject matter before in 82's King of Comedy with Robert De Niro, and this Joker movie's gonna mention that and gonna make references to King of Comedy. That just sounds like a dumpster fire, guys. Please don't do that.
Not loving that one. Like, no. It's a fine backstory, but the most gripping advantage of that backstory is that at the end of the book that tells it, he says, that's how I remember it some days. I like to think of it as multiple choice.
Yeah.
The fact that it's not set in stone is the major point. So if you just give me a feature film where it's not set in stone, I'm having trouble caring. Mm-hmm. Especially if all you're going to do is regurgitate a tale that, I mean, for better or worse, I did see in theaters, like 2 years ago.
Yeah. And, there was a Joaquin Phoenix, who's been rumored to be involved with this Joker film, was talking to the French publication Allociné and said, what movie about a Joker? I have no idea what you're talking about. But he's a good actor, so he might be, just lying. Might be playing coy. He looks genuine to me, but...
he does sometimes. He's a good actor, but...
He's a very good actor.
The same guy that went on... God, I forget what show, but I think it was his hairdresser he said he had gotten abruptly married to or something. And then like 24 hours later was like, I just wanted the audience to like me.
Yeah.
Like major life news apparently can happen in this guy's, interviews. And, just trying to play aside. Don't worry about it.
He also went on Late Show with David Letterman a few years back and just completely pretended to be like this like stoned out, like crazy, like quiet person. That was from a movie that he did.
Yeah.
It was just all promotional thing.
I forget which movie it was. He was it the one where he was going to be a rapper?
I don't think so. But I don't know.
I think that was another one where it was like he was going to play a rapper in a movie, and then that was how he did his interviews for like a year, was as some kind of quiet dude that raps, I guess.
I don't know.
It was weird.
He's got like a big beard. What I'm talking about is he got like sunglasses and a big beard and...
That's
big hair.
What I'm thinking of. Maybe it's the same thing.
Okay. But yeah, who knows with Joaquin Phoenix, man. He's a really good actor. I'm not necessarily opposed to playing the Joker, but, who could tell from this interview, honestly. And what's weird is, the Wrap's Jeff Snyder put out, like, I guess it's like a production schedule or something for for this untitled Joker origin project, and it says that they're slated to begin shooting in May, but they do list it as Young Joker, and I'm like, what about Joaquin Phoenix do you see young? Yeah, like this dude's like in his 40s.
He's like 43, I want to bet.
Yeah, he looks haggard.
I last remember him looking kind of young, but it's been a minute since Walk the Line. The first third of that movie.
Yeah. And Allociné, he's like, he's got like a full beard, and it's like, gray as hell, man. Like, he looks rough, for real. And I don't know, I know he probably starved himself for some awful crap for The Master, but, dude, he looked rough in that, too.
Yeah.
Like, real, like, oh, man. That was a good movie, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's your thing, though.
I never got enticed. So, can I sum up what we're saying with, like, we like him as an actor, but this doesn't make sense yet?
Absolutely.
I mean, the guy's clay, man. You throw it. I don't know. He does good work. I've never seen him not do good work. It doesn't make sense yet.
Yep, that's how I'm feeling. So Greg Berlanti told The Wrap that his Booster Gold movie is still in development.
Good.
He says they're trying to figure out both the distance that we still have to travel and how we want to execute it. He says another factor for the studio is how it's going to fit in to their greater landscape.
Nice.
That's really on them. They're still kind of determining their order of business on that end. And I didn't know that he directed that new movie Love, Simon that Fox put out. You know what I'm talking about?
No, missed that.
Well, while I was stuck up in the mountains with no internet, I watched a lot of HGTV, and they kept playing trailers for this I don't know, sort of a dramedy, I guess, called Love, Simon, about this gay kid and him coming out, and it's got Jennifer Garner in it, and it looks like one of those feel good but awful things are going to happen in the movie type of things.
Oh, no, I've seen that kid's face somewhere. I'm not sure what I was watching where they had a trailer for that, but I've seen that kid's face somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here's some fun news.
Aww.
I'm assuming you're still aware of Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
I am, and I fear what you're about to say.
Well, they have cast some of the members of the Justice League. Singer-songwriter Halsey is going to be Wonder Woman. Hip-hop artist Lil Yachty is going to be Green Lantern, Jon Stewart.
You know it.
And Nicolas Cage is going to be Superman.
Superman lives!
I first saw that news on Facebook. I was just scrolling through, and they said Nicolas Cage is going to be Superman in Teen Titans Go, and it's just like the number one comment was just someone said no.
Yes, you can control it by will alone. If we've learned anything, Internet, it's that you can simply scream at it.
Yep.
And it will do your bidding.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm excited about that. I think it's really cool. I think it's really fun.
It's a nice callback, and it sounds hilarious. I'm on board. You're right. I mean, I'm not trying to...
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound like a dick about it. That sounds hilarious, and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Teen Titans Go to the movies. I mean, Teen Titans Go, if you're familiar with that show, all the, as tongue-in-cheek as they are, as many callbacks as they make to things both behind the scenes and in the books and everywhere.
They're a very reverential show, yeah.
Very reverential, but not very reverent.
No.
And I'm down for this. I think Nicolas Cage's Superman is hilarious, but I don't have a problem with Teen Titans Go like a lot of people do. Like, there are like certain DC fans who are just like super angry about Teen Titans Go because they have jokes and they shouldn't be funny.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get over that. There are just too many versions of things. But you remember a few weeks ago when someone asked Nicolas Cage what he thought of Justice League?
Oh, I remember, but I don't remember what he said.
I did. I read it one time. I couldn't even paraphrase it. But what I remember is it's a very kind of... It's almost like he said, yeah, that was a film. Ha ha ha. and yep. Like it was as though, just reading his quote even. I didn't watch this thing. Come on. It's going to be Nicolas Cage doing the quote, but exaggerated. So like I just reading his quote. Like he did still sound like he had kind of baggage attached to the movie. Yeah. And the timing of the timing of this, I'm wondering if someone producing Teen Titans Go didn't just kind of think, "Oh shit, let me reach out."
Yeah.
This guy clearly wanted to be Superman. Let me just see if it'll work. Oh my god, it worked.
Oh, he absolutely wanted to be Superman.
Who doesn't want to be Superman?
Me.
Well, I know. But like, if someone offered you the chance to play Superman, you'd probably do it.
Well, I guess it depends on how you mean. Like, if it was an animation, I was doing the voice, sure. If someone said, "Hey, you want to squeeze into this spandex?" I'd be like, you know what? I'm not right for the part.
I think if first of all, someone said, would you like to play this audio version of Superman? My first reaction would be like, you've really got to get your ears checked, but yes. And if someone said, would you like to play the live-action version of Superman, my reaction, again, would be, you have to get your eyes checked, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree and let it be their problem. Can't think of a better motivation for a workout. Hey, buddy, we're going to need you to put on this skin-tight outfit with the S on front. How do you feel about that? I feel like my entire childhood is judging me. Okay, yeah, hit the gym. Hit the gym. Here's some wheat germ. That's what you got today.
Right.
2 ounces. Not 2.5. 2. 2 ounces of wheat germ. Looking for that other half like a glutton.
All right. All right, guys, we are going to head over to television news. And if you're not following us, then you can follow us on Twitter. Sorry, I'm going to start that over again. All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and start doing some TV news. If you don't listen to the TV news portion, thank you for listening this far. You can follow us over on Twitter at DC On Screen, Instagram at DC On Screen. We are on Vero, or I am, under David C. Robertson. And we're on Facebook, of course. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. And leave us some good reviews over on iTunes. That always helps out. All right, so on to Gotham.
Yay!
At the Innovative TV Conference in Israel, Fox Chairman Gary Newman talked a little bit with Deadline about where Gotham might sit with an upcoming season. He says, we asked a lot of it this year moving to Thursday nights, and I thought it did a pretty good job of opening up that night for us. I feel like Gotham should have a place in our schedule. But whether or not the new season is coming, he says it will purely be a matter of scheduling. Thursday is not available in the fall, so where do we use it? Hopefully there's more years of Gotham.
Good Lord.
Right?
Okay.
Like, what do you think, man? Like, that that doesn't sound as hopeful as I think he's trying to make it out to be.
No, that's some grade A double talk, man.
And it has like suffered like an actual like ratings dip. Like, it has not done well on Thursday.
I haven't gotten to compare it. I don't know. Like, there's a normal ratings dip that just happens, and then on top of that, you've got change of nights, and then I guess you have to wait that for like that night, and I don't know, man.
And it's changing nights twice in 2 years. That's not good.
Well, but Arrow's
that's what NBC did to kill News Radio.
Yeah, but didn't they move it to Friday at some point?
I don't know. That's kind of the point. No one knew where it was.
That's true.
I think when it died,
that's how Titus died.
Yeah, I think News Radio, they killed it. I think it died on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, David Mazouz was talking about some Jerome over on comicbook.com. He says, it really is one of the biggest shocks. I think it's safe to say that this kind of transition is not only the smartest thing, but the biggest kind of surprise that Gotham has thrown at its audience. Gotham loves to kind of have a shocker moment. I mean, I'm sure we'd love to have crazy cliffhangers, but this is one that is not even on the same level as anything we've done before. I mean, the second I read that in the script, I was like, oh my god, yes, that is perfect. We've been asking ourselves this question, is Jerome the Joker? He's obviously acting a lot like the Joker. Is he the Joker? This is a perfect way to answer that, because we don't want to say yes, but we don't want to say no. We don't want to say no because Jerome is so much like the Joker, so what they end up doing is kind of a great balanced way to answer that question and to have Jerome maybe be involved in the creation of the Joker, but have him not be the Joker. He is not the man that will have green hair and a pale face. He is not that man. I think I know what the answer is.
Go ahead.
I'm not, because I read a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I caught like a glimpse of a thing, and I went, I wish I hadn't glimpsed that. So I think I have an idea of what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know too much to actually say, because I don't want to actually ruin it.
I'll be honest. I don't even want you to tell me.
I understand. That's why I'm not saying it.
Yeah. I would kind of rather guess and just enjoy it. Assuming you actually have the answer. But from my perspective, that is an intriguing response, and it's not unprecedented. They've actually been saying this the whole time. It has never been the case that Jerome was supposed to be the Joker.
Yeah, they've been saying that the
producers have said that the entire time. So it's not news, I guess, in some aspect. But the fact that it actually, like, the only thing that intrigues me is, like, the fact that David is so, I guess, into it is maybe news.
Mm-hmm.
What it makes me feel like he's had some scenes described to him or given to him, or maybe even done, that are really giving him, like, a super clear picture of it.
Yeah.
Because before this, it's been like Cerrone and so that have been saying, "Oh no, it's not him. This is like our homage to him that's going to get there, though."
I will tell you this: Marina Baccarin, Leslie Tompkins on the show, she's definitely seen some things because she was the one talking to the thing, and I wish I hadn't read accidentally. Yeah.
Well, you keep that between you and Marina. I'm going to choose Bliss.
All right, so over to Legends of Tomorrow. Season 3 finale of Legends will have a few guests. Comicbook.com is reporting that Jax is going to come back, Jonah Hex is going to come back, and Constantine will grace the screen again.
I'm going to guess your reactions. Yeah. Yeah!
Yeah, it was roughly like, I hope that was as fun for you guys to hear as it was for me to do. So Violet Bean, not Violent Bean. I call dibs on copyright for Violent Bean.
That's what her manager calls her.
Yeah. Violet Bean. Jesse Quick is going to be in the Arrowverse yet again, this time on the Wave Rider. And she is going to be with Kenyon Lonsdale, Wally West, and Matt Ryan's Constantine in the 15th episode of Legends of Tomorrow, Romancing the Stone.
Coming up next.
Yep. John Noble. He already does the voice of Malus in Legends of Tomorrow, but apparently he's also going to be portraying a version of himself in the episode, or in some episode soon. They're going to work John Noble into the show's narrative. Guggenheim says, "We figured out a very Legends-like way to actually get John Noble, the actor, into the show. We're very excited that John Noble will be making a live-action appearance on Legends. He's been voicing our third season's Big Bad, Malus, whatever. But he won't be appearing as the Time Demon. He'll actually be appearing as himself. It makes total sense in a Legendsy kind of way." Which means it doesn't make sense, but it'll be fun.
It's started to make more sense recently.
Yeah, I'm behind. I'm like 4 episodes behind. As I mentioned on Twitter earlier today to Brent, I just sort of keep panicking and hurrying up and watching an episode before they delete it from the site.
Yeah, I understand. I am currently up to date on Legends, and I have to admit, my thought the last few weeks has been, this is kind of the stuff I wish they'd been doing.
Oh, good. Good. So Constantine's animated revival on CW Seed finally has a premiere date of March 24th. Mm-hmm. All the episodes will drop that day.
Of course, we'll watch them then.
Oh, absolutely. They've also announced that there will be a panel at the same time at WonderCon in Anaheim with this featuring Matt Ryan and series writer J.M. DeMatteis. I assume that's how you say that name.
DeMatteis? I'm just going to say that in case I'm right.
Right.
We've got it covered.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever heard his name mentioned.
Neither have I. Seen it several times.
Oh, absolutely. Read plenty of that guy's stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so over to Titans. Dwayne Murphy of Star Trek Discovery will be playing Negative Man of Doom Patrol. The character synopsis says, a pilot in the Air Force, Larry Traynor, crashed his plane and was exposed to a mysterious negative energy wrapped in bandages to protect those around him. Larry struggles with this strange new power. Down for that.
Yep, sounds good.
Guy didn't have a lot to do. He didn't have a lot to do in Star Trek Discovery, but he had a good presence.
All right. That's I don't know him from anything. So yeah, cool. I like your endorsement.
Yeah, I saw him at a console one time.
Oh.
And he had a reaction to something, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there's something.
Titans has casted Robot Man. Jake Michaels has been cast as Cliff Steele, a.k.a. Robot Man. I don't know Jake Michaels.
I don't either.
Neither do I know April Bowlby of Drop Dead Diva, who will be playing Elastigirl in Titans.
I don't either.
But I'm excited all these names are being casted. I'm excited that things are happening.
I like the roles that are being cast a lot.
I do, yeah. Now, TitansTV.net has unconfirmed sources that say that the 7th episode of Titans will be titled Jason Todd.
Well, sure, that'd be fantastic.
Obviously, who knows if that's true? Like, this is a rumor. We don't know. If you don't know, Jason Todd was the second person to become Robin, and he was murdered brutally by the Joker.
And the fans.
But he is now the Red Hood in the comics. So, I love Jason Todd. He was a dick as Robin, but I like him as Red Hood. Oh,
yeah, he's grown a whole new life as Red Hood that he did not have as Robin.
Yeah, like, previous to his resurrection and becoming Red Hood, I would say, he was one of those, he was great for the character development of Batman. Like, Robins in refrigerators, I would say. Like,
nice.
Justifiable Robin in refrigerator.
Yeah.
But, I like what they're doing with him these last few years. Over on Krypton.
Like, you realize...
what?
All right. So, like, Robin 1. Oh, you poor boy. I watched a terrible thing happen. I shall take you on as my ward. Robin 2. You dick. Stop stealing my shit. I shall take you on because it's less trouble.
Robin 3. You figured out what now? Oh, damn.
Damn, Alfred, prepare him a meal. Preferably with chamomile.
Anyway.
We need time to plan for his next attack.
Over to Krypton. We have a first look at Brainiac in the Skull Ship. Blake Ritson's Brainiac. Oh, my lord, man. This dude looks like Brainiac.
He actually really... Yeah,
like, this is the first thing that's actually made me excited about the show.
Excited, yeah. He looks pretty good.
Ritson recently said, yes, Brainiac traverses the universe in a gigantic skull ship, ripping cities out of planets, miniaturizing them, and placing them on board. But he does so in the spirit of conservation. In his mind, he's committed to the ultimate philanthropic act, saving all of creation. In many ways, it's analogous to Noah plucking out 2 of every animal to ensure their survival, even while knowing that others might perish or must perish. I'm down with this version of Brainiac, dude. He looks dope.
He does. He looks good. They have a good backstory. Begrudgingly admit that I'm excited about that character.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how good Krypton is. But
I'm okay to. I'm going to keep the begrudgingly until I at least see the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see.
Yeah. All right. That's all we've got. That's all I've got for tonight. You have anything else?
God, no. It's been months. Right.
Sorry.
Months, I say.
Months?
Month, I say.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging around and waiting on us to come back with some news. We should be a lot more regular now. We've taken our fiber con. We're getting back into the swing of things. DCOnscreen.com. Every episode. You can find us on Twitter. You can come follow us. DC on Screen, Instagram, DC on Screen. We're on Facebook, kind of sometimes now. Not a whole lot anymore, but we're around.
I try to keep up.
If you'll talk at us, we'll talk back at you. And that's going to be it for tonight. Until next time, keep some DC on your screen. Our opening narration was from Dan Jurgens' The History of the DC Universe, Part 3 of 10, as featured in DC 52, Week 4. It was performed by me, David C. Robertson. Intro music by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Future Elevators, could be found on Spotify or future-elevators.com. Our introduction was performed by Effie Ophelders of the fantastic podcast Stealing the Remote, which lives on SoundCloud. It can also be found on iTunes and Stitcher. We are proudly in partnership with TV Time, the
TV show calendar and social media site that lets you keep track of what you're watching, what your friends are watching, and where you all left off. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. Visit maladjusted.tv for more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, an improvised web series, vlogs, parodies, and more.